So what once began with homophobic slurs ends with very much homophobic labels that people try to apply to my character. The internet is beautifully predictable in every possible way imaginable. Even hell, David Jaffe asked me directly if my wife will still have sex with me after the fact that I cried at this announcement, and apparently real men can't feel things in 2023. And that's okay. If you agree with David, if you agree with that mindset, I don't hate you. I think that's perfectly fine and reasonable. But that's just not who I am. I feel things incredibly, incredibly deeply, and I have a massive passion for gaming culture. That's why I went into it. That's why, as a software developer myself, I love to dabble and do hobbyist games and work with other game creators from time to time. It's a great experience. Hopefully one day I'll actually publish something that you guys can go hands-on with. But we'll have to wait and see. As time permits, that is one of the things that's pretty crazy. With the fact that I got 6 kids, I think I'm doing pretty well in that department. I think I'm doing okay. So anybody out there concerned, they can rest easy tonight knowing that I think my wife and I are going to be perfectly fine in our relationship and with any potential future family we decide to create if we decide to go in that direction. But what are we talking about here today? It's a long enough intro. Well, we're talking about the upcoming war between Baldurs Gate 3 and Starfield. This isn't a war between companies. This is not a war between games. This is a war between the console warriors and how they're going to try to use these games to score points on one another. And at the end of the day, what can we do? How can we process this? And why does this always keep occurring? Just like people will accuse you and say horrible things online, the internet is a beautifully predictable and chaotic place from time to time. Now, I was not excited for Starfield at first. It wasn't until the last Starfield Direct that all of a sudden I was like, okay, now I'm interested. I kept always asking, what is Starfield? And people were excited about it. I wish I had that level of just pure hype going into a video game announcement, but I guess I've been around the block long enough that I'm like, let me see gameplay, let me feel gameplay before I'm going to sit here and make any kind of recommendations. But to each their own. But once we saw the latest Starfield Direct, all of a sudden I was like, this looks incredible. This looks very interesting. Now, I'm going to bet, based off of my experience with all the past Bethesda games, that this is going to be a game I spend a couple hundred hours in and never truly finish. We'll see if I break the streak this time around, but I'm personally very excited for Starfield, and I'm glad that people who have PCs can experience it. I'm personally hoping that we have GeForce Now and other services so that Starfield can be experienced in as many places as possible. I still stand by that I wish Starfield was a game that PlayStation would eventually have. I can get behind the concept of time exclusives, but I just am a guy who thinks that people should be able to play games wherever they are. Now, on the flip side, Baldurs Gate 3, also on PC, also coming to PS5, and in this case, not yet launching on an Xbox. And so what's going to be the case, and what's really going to suck, because at the end of the day, these are beautiful games worked on by passionate teams for years and years and years and years. And people are going to try to find any flaw in Starfield or any flaw in Baldurs Gate 3 and use that to just try and lob grenades at the opposing side. We can see how vicious these sides can be. As somebody who I consider myself console agnostic, but I do have 3 Xboxes, I do have 1 PlayStation 5, I had 3 Switches until a couple of the kids decided to drown some in the tub. The Switches, not the kids, thank God. But we're sitting here looking at this situation and going like, yeah, I like consoles, I like PC gaming, I just love video games, so let us play those. And so I think essentially what we can do as a gaming community is to continue to talk about these things, to continue to encourage people to come out of what I call kind of the religious zealots of the console wars and go back into having a team. It's perfectly fine and reasonable to root for your team, and my team is gamers. My team is going to always be an end with you, advocating for what I feel. Not necessarily am I right. I'm going to be very clear. I'm going to advocate for what I feel based off my experience, my study, my research, and my conversations with you guys, but that doesn't no way means that I feel like my way is the only and the correct way. By all means, not at all. I'm not, thankfully, that stupid. But At this core, I want to advocate for people to be able to play games wherever they are, whatever works for them and their budget. Not everybody is as lucky as me and has the passion and the supportive wife that says, yes, go get that new Xbox console. Yes, go ahead and pre-order that new Switch 2 as soon as it comes out as the announcements. Like, that is the backing and the support that we have as a family. And thankfully, there's trade-offs, right? Like, I'm not a big sports guy. I don't watch sports every weekend. I don't go to every game. And that's okay. Everybody has their thing, and my thing's gaming. And I think what's important is to remember that the people that we're fighting against, or whatever side you're on the other side is still a gamer too at the end of the day. And I think it's more that the nature of social media removes the personhood of who we are, and it just makes us feel more adversarial than actually community driven perspectives. Because at Xbox and Phil Spencer has no clue who I am, nor do I care if they did. Same thing with Sony and PlayStation. They don't care for us. However, I do feel and get frustrated when they weaponize, or when we let ourselves get weaponized against one another over effing incredible video games like Starfield and Baldurs Gate 3. Now, I hope that Starfield is a lot of fun. Personally, I'm going to be playing it on PC, and with crossplay, cross-save, yeah, I can go and download it on the console and play it downstairs with the kids, which I think is probably going to be what we end up doing come September. Now, it is August, and thankfully, Baldur's Gate 3 is out this month, so hopefully it helps reduce the overall impact that it will have on this upcoming Dunk Fest war that's going to be unavoidable. Anyway, guys, just wanted to keep you prepared. Thanks so much for coming to my TED Talk. Also, huge shout out for Wes for hooking me up with my first cowboy hat as a 6th, 7th generation Texan. This is the first one I've ever got. So you guys let me know what you think about it. And I appreciate any and all feedback. If you guys like these videos, like, sub, share, leave a comment below if this is over on Twitter, or whatever the hell that app used to be called. Be sure to hit that retweet, that like, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about this this video. As always, I appreciate your time, appreciate your support. Love you very much. Hopefully you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.